Welcome to Echoes in the Gallery. I am your host, Susan L. Sistrunk. As a lifelong artist and educator, it is my privilege to bring you my first original podcast set in a series of volumes. Each episode will air weekly on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Tonight, in episode 18, Surprise Contents, Jonathan and Rachel make a startling discovery about the Kandinsky, and our crew finds their way through a sticky situation after the disposal of Yuri off of Alcatraz Island. Let us step into the gallery and begin. Episode 18, Surprise Contents. Rachel hung up the phone and turned to Jonathan. That was my buyer for the painting. He wants us to meet first thing in the morning. He's paying me a lot of money for the Kandinsky. I'm surprised he wants to meet in person. He originally insisted on complete anonymity on his part. This is odd. Jonathan felt the hairs on his arms rise briefly. There had been quite enough twists and turns already for his liking, but art collectors could be eccentric, so maybe this was nothing. Well, art buyers can be unpredictable, he said nervously. Speaking of which, Gwen is going to kill me for all of this mess with Ivanov. I completely left her holding the bag here. She will get over it. Rachel was so tired of hearing about Gwen. I'm going to get the painting wrapped up for the buyer. Don't worry so much. Your forgery is perfect, and Ivanov will never know the difference. You even found the exact same frame molding for it. Just relax. Rachel picked up the painting and began moving it over to the bed. She needed to take it out of the frame. It would be easier for her client to transport. Turning it over, she began the process of taking off the backing paper and stopped short. There was something between the paper and the canvas. A flat package was taped to the inside of the backing paper. "What is this?" she asked Jonathan. "I have no idea." He sat up and eyed it with curiosity. Rachel opened the package carefully and dumped the contents onto the bed. Diamonds. Lots of diamonds. Jonathan sharply inhaled. We are in a lot of trouble. Off the shore of San Francisco, Gwen and Eric looked at each other in a panic. Where is he? Jordan! Jordan! Gwen was hysterical with fear. Eric began shouting with her. A large splash erupted not too far from them, and the two began swimming toward the figure of Jordan emerging from the ocean. He was coughing and flailing in the water. They reached him, and Gwen grabbed his shoulders. "Jordan, calm down. Breathe. We are all alive." Jordan continued to spit out water and wheeze. "My shoe caught on something on the deck, and I couldn't get free before the boat went down. I thought I was going to die." Eric spoke up. "Well, guys, we aren't out of the woods yet. We have to get to shore, and I suggest we start swimming fast. Aside from the cold water, we have another problem." "What's that?" Jordan asked nervously. "Sharks. This is the perfect environment for them." Gwen groaned. Why did Eric have to bring that up? Now Jordan would just be freaking out about sharks all the way back to shore. "Let's go, you two. We have a lot of swimming to do, and Ivanov is expecting us at his office when we get back. Man, is he going to be pissed about the yacht." Eric nodded, but thought for a minute. "He might not be so angry when you give over Rachel and Jonathan. Ivanov does love that painting, but they actually didn't just steal his painting." "What are you talking about?" Gwen asked. "There are about $10 million worth of flawless diamonds inside the back of that painting. He didn't loan it for the exhibition out of the goodness of his heart. He needed a place to store it. The three were probably 20 minutes from shore." "We better get to Ivanov as soon as we reach shore," Gwen said. "I also have something to tell you." Gwen began telling him everything about the painting and artist she created, and Tuturia. She knew it was a risk, but at this point in time, she needed his help desperately. Jordan spoke up. "Let's head to the gallery first. There's a shower and dry clothes. You can call him from there. You may also want to contact that lady to find out what is going on with them. Good point, Jordan. Okay, sounds like a plan. The three continued to swim. Upon reaching shore, they caught a cab and headed to the gallery. Luckily, a digital code opened the front door. They hurried inside and Gwen went to the back room to fetch clean clothes and towels. Because the gallery had so many events, the closet was always stocked with things they would need. While she was rummaging through the closet trying to figure out what would fit Eric, he was a different build than Jonathan, the gallery phone rang. She rushed to the desk to pick it up. It might be Ivanov or even Jonathan. Gwen hated herself for it, but couldn't forget all of their time together so easily. Hello, Gwen. Where have you been today? We were worried about you. Tuturia's voice was crisp. Gwen placed the call on speakerphone so Eric and Jordan could hear. Before Gwen could answer, Tuturia said, Do you know where Jonathan is? He and the redhead have the painting, and it actually belongs to us. Not Ivanov. We're going to need it back. Eric shook his head at Gwen. Even if they knew, there was no way they should tell this woman anything. During the swim, Gwen had filled him in on Tuturia. They probably knew about the diamonds. I don't know where he is, and Ivanov might disagree with you about the ownership of the Kandinsky. Gwen suddenly didn't trust this woman for anything. Well, that doesn't matter. You are going to find Jonathan for me and get him to bring that painting. Tuturia's voice was controlled and demanding. Or what? Gwen was suddenly incensed at this person. Hadn't she caused enough trouble? Tuturia smiled on the other end of the phone and knew she was holding all the cards. Or I will call the police and tell them about the $2 million in an offshore account under your name wired from Stefan Ivanov. And don't forget to bring the diamonds. This concludes episode 18 of Echoes in the Gallery. Join me, your host, Susan L. Sistrunk, next week for episode 19, The Chess Game Begins. Until then, stay safe and love each other.